What's going on, Port fans? Welcome back to another video on the channel. Today we're going to be previewing Showdown 54. It's the Adelaide home game, the Adelaide Showdown. We're coming off of 2 losses. The Crows also coming off of a couple of losses, a close one to Melbourne on the weekend. And this one's going to be an absolute ripper, this one. I really feel like it's going to be another Showdown epic, and I'm hoping it goes our way this time. It's obviously been a pretty disappointing last couple of Showdowns. With Port Adelaide obviously losing this one earlier in the year in the prison bars, and obviously you think of Dawson's showdown last year, and I think it's really interesting that the fact is that we're coming into this game probably a little bit, well, I don't know, I think I'm a little bit shaken. A couple of losses in a row, obviously the big one to Carlton, and then the massive one to Collingwood last week by 2 points in one of the best games of the year. So it's going to be a good game. I'm looking forward to it. So let's get straight into it and talk about this one. Showdown 54 preview. Let's get it underway. As you can probably tell, I am extremely sick. I'm also coming off a big trip, as you would have seen, for Jared Thomas's 21st, to see JT, who hosts the Glass Table with me. So we've had a pretty good weekend, and that's why there wasn't, unfortunately, any review from the Collingwood game. There wasn't any content that come out during the week, and yeah, we're here now with the preview. So I do apologise for the lack of content over the past week. But we're going to get back into the smoother things, ready for the back end of this year, and there's only 5 games to go. This showdown is going to be something that's probably going to be one thing that breaks the season of the Crows. I think that's the writing's on the wall for them, and they probably are a great team to probably come up against for us as well, to keep our spot in that top 2. Obviously, we've got a harder run home with Geelong next week as well, down in Geelong, and Brisbane are coming for that second position. There is a lot riding on this one in terms of, for Port Adelaide's sake, with that top 2. I do feel like that this year really depends on if we make top 2, get a home final. That's going to be the difference between us making a grand final and not. I do feel like that there is a very, very good chance that we do lose that top 2 spot if we don't win this showdown. And it really hurts us, especially with the percentage basis. And the Crows will definitely be wanting to really spoil the party for us. I think with the showdowns, I look back to 2004 and we lost the showdown in round 7, I think it was. It was our home showdown. We lost by 32 points. And we ended up winning the second one with a dominant display from Treadray. And, obviously secured the minor premiership. A little bit different at this stage, but it's just funny to me that we're in a position now where it's just a little bit similar. We're fighting for a top 2 finish. We're fighting for a position to get a home final, and we're coming up against our arch rivals in a game that's going to be crisis talks for either team at the end of it. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing what happens. I would love to spoil the Crows' party and finish their season. I do feel like that's a very good story to be told. It does make me smile a little bit to think about it. They have some injuries. Nick Murray's obviously unfortunately done his ACL. Isaac Rankin with a long-term hamstring injury. They've got no Rochelle due to suspension again. We do have a Tex Walker fighting for a Coleman medal, so there might be a lot of favouritism there in terms of trying to get the ball to him a fair bit. He'll be their number 1 target going inside 50. So I think having Mackenzie on him earlier in the year, I think it was, did a fantastic job. I only think he kicked 1 or 2 goals against us, but it was the smalls, Rankin and Rochelle and I think of Thilthorpe as well, Fogarty. Those players were really prominent because Tex was shut down. So I think once again that's going to be a similar factor. We didn't have Mackenzie playing in that game, and we did have a Tom Jonas. So I think having Aliir there, having a Mackenzie, I think a Burton is going to suit really well. Miles Bergman as well can play on either player. I think he'd be a really a suitable proposition for Tex Walker, actually. I do feel like one-on-one in the air, you definitely want your help from Aliir and co, but having Miles Bergman there around the ground could definitely be a prominent factor. Midfield wise, I think speaks for itself. The Crows have the ability to get those short bursts going. We saw the third quarter against Collingwood, which really nailed home the fact that they are a very good scoring outfit. Once again on the weekend, they scored pretty quickly against the D's to fight their way back into the game. And I think the only one game they've really been exposed in is the Giants game. They didn't kick straight, but they were really slow. And if you slow down the Crows, they have no way of scoring. And I think with us, we have been able to leak goals here and there. And I think with our defensive structure, if we can nullify the Crows' impact around that half-forward 50 mark and their transition, us scoring and kicking straight, it's got to be a prominent factor as well. But I think that's the one way we can shut this down. I think if we get it right, there's a strong chance we can actually make this a 5-6 goal win. And I don't want to say that with full confidence because it's a showdown. It's always going to be a close encounter. And it can break away like round 3 did. But I think we're a very different team to round 3. And I don't think the Crows will be able to nullify so many of our key factors. Your Rosie, your Butters, your Horn Francis. He's a completely different player from round 3. Boak's going to play a lot more in the midfield, I think. Willem Drew's been fantastic. That's our midfield alone. I think missing Rioli is going to hurt. I do see an opportunity for us to really. I don't know. There has been a lot of changes, hasn't there? Obviously, Darcy Byrne-Jones is going to come back in for Rioli. That's the only change I can see happening. Everyone else was really good last week, so I don't think selection changes are going to make a lot of a difference. We're just going to hit our KPIs and make sure we kick straight. And if we do that, we're going to get plenty of opportunities at the footy. I think Lysette as well in the midfield. I don't think he gets dropped, but I think he definitely needs to find. It was obviously condition based last week, getting subbed out. I think he plays again. He's the perfect matchup for Riley O'Brien. Just needs to find that little bit of an X factor. He's hot and cold, isn't he, at the moment, Lysette? And I think if he finds that form he had against the D's and that little bit of patch he had before he got injured, I think that overall we can make sure that this turns on and we get a showdown victory. So, Port fans, my tip for this week, I'm tipping us to win by 26 points. I do think it will be close, but I think it's going to be the exact opposite of what happened in round 3. We flipped the switch, we run away with it, and I think we end the Crows season. I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to thrive in that. If they win this showdown, I tell you what, hold off anything to do with the contract talks for Ken Hinkley. Hold off anything else to be done. And we just purely have to reset and refocus because if we lose this one, this is going to be the biggest loss of the year if we drop this one. And I don't want to drop this one because this will hurt. It will hurt not only to lose 2 showdowns in a year, it'll hurt the fact that we've just done all this hard work to win. The streak means nothing if we don't go on and win the games that we need to win. And make sure that we secure that top 2 spot. Everything's on the wall now. There's 5 weeks to go. It's time to stand up and actually now play finals football. Thank you very much for watching, Port fans. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new for plenty more Port Adelaide and AFL content that come your way. The Glass Table will be back next week as well, so make sure you tune in for that. My name is Anthony, and as always, stuff the Crows, count the pair.